Yo, I've just spent last hour by myself reordering my wood. This is all on the right is timbers, on the left is lumbers, so to speak. Apparently everything above 5x5 in timber framing is called a timber. Everything else is called lumber. So on the left, got a variety of different 1-inch or 25mm planks. Some of them with live edges, so I have a process that makes it really efficient to strip that down using a track for my Makita 40-volt skill saw. I will show that in another video. Then next to that is the 50mm or nominally 2 inches. Then the timbers are ordered in relation to when I will be getting to them to do work on them. So on the far right there is the first 2 bearers that will hold the joists. The joists are probably just going to be dry macrocarpa that I have from a purchase, probably 2x8s, something like that. These are 7x7s. It's the biggest that my mortising chisel machine can handle. So those will go down first on some concrete footings. Concrete footings are going to be framed by some planks of eucalyptus, and I'm going to pour the concrete in there with rebar and actually just leave the planks of eucalyptus so that it'll end up being a post that looks the same dimensions as these bearers here. Then next to those in the middle is the posts. So these posts are going to get a tenon on both ends and a couple of mortises to hold braces. And then on the far left, these guys here are the longest, and they're going to be the beams. So those are all the beams that made it over 4.5 meters. So my overall length of the roof I want to have is about 9 meters, a little bit less. And so those will have a splice join and then be sitting on a row of 4 posts on each side of the house. And I'll also need 4 of these to be the collar ties to hold the whole building together. So yeah, basically need 10 of these guys. That's 6 beams and 4 collar ties. And then 8 posts plus some upright king posts are going to sit on top of the collar ties. And then I'm going to need another 2 bearing beams. Plus another 2 for the ends, maybe 1 also in the middle just to pick up any bracing I might end up doing. So a little bit more of those. Then I have some smaller stuff that I was originally going to make the house out of, which is, believe it or not, that's a 5x5. And that's a 6x6. And maybe you don't see it in the camera, but even though it's only 1 inch more in each direction, it's obviously a exponential area increase. So those look substantially bigger than these, which I'm very happy that I changed my mind. These ones would have looked puny. I actually can't believe that my home, my little one that I built for my wife and my child, is made with 4x4s, which is even smaller than that, which is surprising. Anyway, so these are going to become the sawhorses. I'm going to make some Japanese style sawhorses using mortise and tenon joinery, and that's what I'm going to use to build the timber frame on. So I'll probably use almost the whole length one of these, not quite, to be the bearing face, and then some short legs. This here is my mortise, obviously, so I brought that up, and I was going to do a little bit of mortise and tenon up here while I am around. And in that box is my 40-volt Makita skilly. So I've brought everything up to do a bit of playing. And yeah, once again, here is my setup. I'm just going to lift the big eucalyptus onto the sawmill track and see what that yields. And finally took the stack away from here, which is where it was before. And that's very nice to have that out of the way. It's going to make it a lot easier to remove timbers from the mill and put them back there. I was starting to get a bit of a huge stack. Obviously my reject wood, the cuts that come off the sides of the log are starting to pile up, getting pretty big. So time to do a firewood sawing session.